Hey everybody, today I'll be using a 150 grit belt to clean up my grinds here. I will be establishing my plunge lines and doing my faded grinds. But first I want to do a thanks to all of my new subscribers and my old subscribers. Thank you everybody for watching, and I hope you enjoyed this video. So here I am using a 5-inch wheel to clean up this clip grind on this knife. I'm using a blending pressure to remove the 50 grit marks from the last belt that I was using on this grind. I'm grinding before heat treat, so I don't have to worry about building up too much heat on the blade, but I still like to dunk the knife every so often to keep my hands cool and stop myself from burning my fingers. After I cool my blades off in the water, I like to dry them off just to keep my gloves dry, because dry gloves don't heat up as quickly as wet gloves. Okay, so here I am going to start cleaning up the clip on the other side, but there's something I wanted to show you real quick. It's just the same as the other step, but I've got a little clip here of what it looks like when I'm done grinding on this, and it's a good view of the difference between what you can see here, the 150 grit on the clip, and then back here on the spine you can see the 50 grit still. It looks much grayer on the 50 grit, it's much brighter, smoother looking out there on the clip. There's still some marks down there towards the bottom of the clip that I'll have to get out. But that's just a visual reference of what the difference between 150 grit and 50 grit looks like. Here you can really see the difference there. On the rest of the bevels are just kind of grimy with these big thick lines, and the lines on the 150 grit clip are much smaller and finer, and that's what we're doing. We're just removing the thicker, more broad lines and slowly refining all of those scratches, and that's all polishing is. So I want to apologize at this point. The video clips that I had taken on my phone got deleted, and the only way I could recover them was with this grainy, low res video here. But this is where I'm going to start fading my grind. I'm going to bring my grind back to that scribe line right there. I'm going to start making contact with the wheel, and immediately I am pushing the handle in towards the grinder, and the tip comes back towards me, and that is how I'm kind of rounding that plunge line right there. This is with inward pressure. I'm trying to get that plunge line in towards my cutting edge. If you watched my other grinding video, this is the same step as putting in the little dips that I was talking about in that video. Alright, so we've got that dip in there. That's established my plunge. It's not very deep. We're going to go ahead and straighten out that top grind a little bit, just like I would with my check grinds, and then I'm going to go ahead and push that grind line down towards the center of the blade where my grinds are coming together. So there you see I've eliminated that high spot, and it's just all flush with the cutting edge, and I can establish my plunge line now. We're going for something about like that. Get a nice little swoop in there. Alright, so you can see me dropping the point of the blade, and I am raising that handle up towards the ceiling. At the same time, I'm still slightly doing the same movement of pushing the handle towards the grinder and the tip coming out towards me. So I'm kind of coming up at this angle, at like a diagonal angle, with the handle coming up towards the ceiling and the point coming down towards the floor, towards me. And we can see that the grind is moving along, about halfway there. And just keep with the same motion, pushing with an upward pressure to move towards the center line where my grinds are coming together. And I'm working, I don't know, probably about an inch of the knife, about that inch of the blade there, and I'm only using maybe a third of that wheel. I'm not using a lot of the wheel there. So when I'm reaching up like this, I'm adjusting the tension on my belt on the wheel. That's looking nice. I just want a little tiny, maybe 1/16 of an inch of the belt hanging over the edge of the wheel, and that's just to stop the wheel from gouging, or from the belt gouging into the blade. I don't want to ruin my wheel, and I don't want to put a big, ugly, strong line, just a dip that I've just gouged out from the blade by using the corner of the wheel. So I have my wheels, the corners of my wheels rounded ever so slightly, and then I also I overhang the belt on the corner of the wheel. So we're almost to the bottom of the line there. Just a few more passes and we should be there. Go ahead and take a look. So we've ground that plunge line all the way down to my grind line, and now I'm just going to straighten out all the, you can see the check grind still up there a little bit, and then I'm going to just clean up all of that. I'm going to straighten out the grind line where the grinds meet, and I'm going to clean up all the 50 grit scratches and make it all 150 grit. At this point, I'm using an upward pressure to try to move that grind down, and then I'll just use a blending pressure to clean everything up together. So here you can see I've got that plunge line swooping down, and it comes all the way straight along my grind line, and then I can blend that up into here, and then all of that out towards the tip. So back to an inward pressure, I'm going to work the wheel along the cutting edge just to remove all those 50 grit marks. And then once that is cleaned up, I can come back through and blend this line down the middle out, because I know that I've gotten below all of those bad marks that were left behind from the last grit. So now I will go in with my blending pressure. You can see I'm starting all the way at the plunge just to make sure that I'm getting it all nice and smooth the whole way across. And I will work that from the middle up towards the cutting edge and down towards the grind line, this where they meet. And eventually you'll see those marks that are going down and they're going up towards the edge, and then it'll all just be one smooth surface. I'm going to leave this little clip of me grinding here so that people can look at my hands and watch the motions that I'm going through as I'm grinding. I know that I sat and watched my father grind for really just hours upon hours, and just studying the way that his hands looked when he was moving, and that really helped me figure out, you know, what it should look like and eventually how it should feel when I'm at the grinder. Now if you look, you can see this bar of light, this strip of light, and that should be real straight and smooth. If it's wobbly or wonky, then that means that your grind is not flat and it's wobbly and there's something wrong that you need to go back and blend in. So here we go. I'm going to drop that handle and work out towards the tip. I am rounding this belly of the grind, and oh yeah, you can see the light kind of wobbles there right at that corner, so I'll have to get that out. But by dropping that handle, you're moving the belly of the knife, the cutting edge of the belly of the knife along the grinder, and you're trying to move that center grind line out towards the tip of the knife at this point. So you can see with the light here that it's a little wobbly. It's not perfect, but it's getting close, and we are pre-heat treat, so it doesn't need to be absolutely perfect. You're going to come back through with 400 and then, you know, some cork belts and clean everything up later, but you want to get it as best as you can before heat treat, just so you got less work to deal with afterwards. You may not be able to hear it with me talking over, but when you get out towards the point, it really starts to sound different when you're grinding. It has kind of a higher pitched ringing sound, and got a little wobble out there on the cutting edge there towards the point. But it really makes a different sound. I'll try to be quiet here so you can try to hear it. But that's how you'll know that you're really out there on the tip and that you're really close to the edge. Let's look at this grind. So we've got a little bit of wobble up there. We'll end up taking that out, I'm sure. Most of it's looking pretty nice though. The light comes across pretty evenly except for on that one spot. So We'll come back through with blending pressure starting all the way at the plunge line, and then I'm going to just focus on staying in the center of the grind as I move out there towards the tip, and that should help me blend everything together. Okay, got nice bar of lights. They're just gliding across there. That looks pretty darn good. I'm pretty happy with that. So I don't want to spend too much more time on that just because it's the same steps. You're just, bringing these two grinds together. I'm going to be doing my dip, and then I'm going to remove the high spots to give me that check grind, and then I'm just going to go ahead and push that grind down and establish my plunge by moving my hands in a diagonal. Then I'll just clean up the spine and blend the spine and the clip together, and that will be it. It'll be finished. At least these grinds will be. I'll have to do the other side of the knife and all the other knives. I'll just leave the rest of this clip here so that if people want to watch it, they can, and get familiar with the hand movements that I'm using to fade this grind. I hope that this video has been helpful. If you like it and you'd like to see more, please like and subscribe to my YouTube channel. You can also find me on Facebook and Instagram at Zac Buchanan Knives. You can also check out my website, zacbuchananKnives.com. Thanks for watching, everybody, and good luck on your knife making.